And here we are on day 20, and we are going to be checking out yet another item off our advent calendar. We're going to be checking out Mewtwo from the Select figures. Again, I believe from Wave 4. We're going to see the whole unboxing and display of this and how it got into this pose. It is a pretty interesting figure indeed. And it's definitely a nice one to have on your display. But yeah, apart from that, let's go on over and let's go and check out how Mewtwo is getting on. Hello and welcome to TotoTCG. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back here with another Pokemon video on the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out the last of the 3 figures that we had from the Series 5 Select range of the Pokemon Articulated figures. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out one of the legendary Pokemon. But of course, before we just go into that, let's just have a look at the back of the box here. So we have already opened up the Suicune in video 1, Tyranitar in video 2, and then we've not opened that one, but it has featured in a video in the past for several card openings and everything like that. But yeah, Charizard, very, very cool. Today, yes, we are going to be looking at Mewtwo right here. And it's looking very, very menacing. This is going to be my 3rd Mewtwo figure. We had one that came out in when Tomy was doing figures. Then we had one where like Jazzwez was doing figures, and it's got this sort of like shadow ball effect on its hand there on the 3 little digits. And now we have this one. So this is the bigger of the 3. I thought the Tomy one was fairly big, especially compared to everything else, but no, we've now got this one. I think these are all 6-inch figures, so they definitely do like live up to that sort of height, and you can see his tail is absolutely huge on this. Now, whether it's articulated, not too sure, but we'll have a little look at that. It'd be quite cool. I think it's got a bit of rotation to it. Not too sure on the bendability or anything like that, but we'll check that out in just a second. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be the last one out of these 3 for Series 5. Series 6, not too sure. They haven't really sort of like given too much away as to what that is confirmed. I think there might be a Garchomp and maybe one of the legendary dogs. Another one. I'm not too sure though. Really not too sure. But either way, we do have a very, very awesome looking Mewtwo right here. We've got a nice Mewtwo sort of greyed out shadow effect here with one of the pictures. And then on the side, we've got another picture there of him sort of striking a pose. Whether we can recreate that, that'd be pretty cool if we can. On the back there, you've got a little bit of posability there. You can see like he's sort of like floating, which I quite like this pose, to be fair. I think it's quite a sort of action pose. Quite interesting to see if these digits will actually move, so you can sort of like have them sort of like opened. And I mean, he's only got 3 fingers, so it'd be pretty cool to sort of see what that's going to be like on the back. Sorry, on the side. That is just a bit more open. And then we get to the front, and it does look as if those fingers are indeed poseable. So, without further ado, I am going to get into the opening of the box here, if it will let me. There we go, that one. It's got 3 little stickers on the top just to keep it all in place, which is always good to see. Once they are done, should be able to pop all of that open. Open, open. Yeah, okay. Let's bring this down. And we will take out all of the base stuff. So we've got the base, and it looks like we've got some tape over it. Okay, that's not a regular thing, but okay. We'll take the tape. Okay. Or apparently the tape is taking me. There we go. Right, we've got that. Okay, let's pull the figure out here. Boom. Okay. Box off to the side. Here he is still in the box. So on the back of this we will have a little sticker or a little bit more tape which will hold in the little plasticky bit. So we're just going to get that off. Stick that down, and then that should allow us to bring Mewtwo out. Cool. Right, okay, there's a lot of plasticky bits here to get rid of. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I'm going to be back in... Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Hold on, 2 seconds. I can actually get it from here, I think. Who needs to skip when you can just grab a pair of scissors that are to hand? Alright, so because it's so small, I'll just use some scissors here. Watch these be blunt as anything. Oh, there we go. Or not. Oh, look at this. Not. Oh, okay. Oh, that one's okay. That one, yeah, and then these two. Yeah! Alright, that worked. Cool. Let's pop him out. Oh, he's got another one on his leg. Sorry, I forgot the one on your leg. Didn't see it. There we go. Ooh. Right, let's get him out. That is a weird pose. Let's grab all of this plasticky bits. There's all these little tags now all going to fall out everywhere. Lovely. We'll pick them up later. Get the Hoover out. Right, throw them on the floor, whatever. Okay, so, Mewtwo. He's had a great night. Oh no, he looks better now. He looks all better now. Oh, he's got some glue on his head. Hold on. Is that glue? What is that? Oh, I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, I don't know. We'll get that off in a sec. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good. He looks like Mewtwo. That's the main thing. Okay. Oh, there is there a possibility? Oh, he has a posable tail. Look at this. You can straighten his tail up. You can bend it if you want to. It's got the little holes in it as well. Does it have rotation? It has rotation. I thought I broke that then. It's got rotation as well, so we can have it backwards, straightened. We can have it off to the side, sort of flexing itself a little bit. Plenty of flexibility in that tail right there. Very, very cool. That's the first point. We do know about those posable fingers as well, which is always great to see. Look at this. He's got so much articulation actually in his hands. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible right there. The head as well. Now obviously this is going to be limited because he does have that little joiner on the back there. Now is this detacher? I'm a miracle. Okay, so it does detach. So if you did want to sort of like pose him, you can go crazy with his head and then possibly look to plug that back in. But because it's like this, it stays behind his head. So any pose, you could kind of hide it behind his head without you knowing that it's detached. That is pretty cool. Okay, that is really, really cool because normally that's the one thing that's sort of really concerning. So great start for the Mewtwo figure here. Great start. Now he does have a neck. I mean, that's a great start, isn't it, when a Pokemon has a neck. He does have a neck. It does have the bending. Oh, wow, that is some proper articulation right there. So you can look right down at his chest or he can look right up to the sky. Oh, this is giving me ideas already. I would like to see a flying Mewtwo. Now, can I plug that back in without it having a nasty time? Oh, maybe not. Oh, are we going to do that if it's going to be looking up? I guess if it's looking up and I can hide that behind his head, it doesn't really matter if he's flying like that. Oh, that looks really cool if he's flying. Oh, I might have him in a flying pose. That would be pretty cool. But let's go through the articulation before we pose him up here, because there is plenty to talk about, like I said. Mewtwo is always a very hard sort of figure to not pose, but stand up, because his legs, like, they've got like so much articulation in his legs here that you want to sort of make him look like he's squatting a little bit. So like you can bend his knees quite far back. He's got like a bit of a chicken leg pose, like that. But I mean, you can straighten them up and make him look really tall. So it's just sort of depending on what you really want to do with the pose, but it gives you those options. So if he is flying, I can really like point some of this stuff to make it look like he's flying quite well, rather than his legs being all down like this, because if he's flying, that's not very aerodynamic if it's like that. So yeah, plenty of stuff there. We got some knee articulation, potentially a little bit of a roll. It looks like it might be on a ball joint, but don't really want to force that too much. There is a little bit, you can see there is quite a bit of sort of like give in that. The foot is majorly articulated, like there is plenty, like you can flip it all the way back. There's so much articulation in the feet there. Got a ball joint here in his sort of leg area here, but it is slightly limited only due to the hard plastic around it. So you can get some sort of forward kicks, some back kicks. It doesn't really go that much further without me pushing it too far, which it does sort of allow you to, but with the hard plastic I don't really want to scuff the paint or anything like that. It doesn't really cover up that sort of front section, so like if you wanted to sort of like cover this up, it sort of like will come back a little bit. Same with this one, really, with the posing. It just depends on that ball joint, really. But yeah, you've got some, because it's been pulled out a little bit, you've got that sort of extra sort of movability with it, which is nice to sort of see. So this one kicks forward a little bit more, it might just be mine, and a bit more back as well. So again, just gives you that extra little bit. Waist articulation as well, there is of course quite a bit of waist articulation there, and then we've even got ab articulation as well, with a slight crunch. Oh, this is like a hot toy as well. So this has got a bit of a crunch as well going on. There is so much articulation. This figure is so good. So good. I mean, not to diss any other of the figures because they've always got great articulation, but the bulkier ones, the ones that don't allow you to have all of this, it's really hard. So like the Tyranitar, his hands are really stubby and quite big, so you can't really get a lot of sort of movement with this. But look at this, you can actually close them all up to look like a fist, it looks like. Can I get this one to move, please? I've mentioned this in all the other three, but sometimes it is... Oh, you can get him so he does that. That is so cool. Sometimes the joints are just a little bit stiff, so just give them a little bit of time. Just give them a little bit of a sort of push, and they should, once they've done it once, they should be able to rotate, which is exactly what this is doing. So I'm just checking this out. We've got a double shoulder, so you can make him be like, I'm not looking at you. Obviously, you could rotate this round and be like, I can't see you. Can't see you. Yeah, there's so much posability in this, so much. And of course there is also rotation here in the sort of bicep area right there. So there's bicep, there's double shoulder, finger, rotation at the wrist, bending at the wrist. So much posability with this Mewtwo. So many options with it as well. It's the legs though, like you could see it looks fine from the top, but the legs are just like all over the shop. It'd be very difficult to sort of pose this on his legs standing up, especially with the tail. The tail is the thing that's going to support it if it was doing that, which is why we've got the base, which is great. So in terms of the articulation, absolutely can't fault it at all. I love the fact that they've thought about removing this pipe. That could have just been stuck in there, which ruins all of this articulation. But no, they've thought about that, and they thought, you know what, we'll take this pipe and we'll allow it to be unattachable, which is great. Now, whether that serves as another hole, whether that can actually be used as the peg, can the head be used? So it can go in, but it's come straight out, so it would be better to leave it in that hole. I was just wondering if you could like do it in the head, depending on what the pose was. That's fair enough. Okay, so we've got rotation at this part, then the bendability of the tail. Cool. All right, so before we pose up the Mewtwo, let's get the... Ta-da! He's posed. Let's get the base all built up. Won't take too long. So we click all this together, or just push it together, and then that will allow our knuckles to crack. Oh, that's a bit loose. There we go. As you move it more, it will sort of like disassemble, only because I'm sort of like not keeping it together. I was sort of pulling it away, and it will just come apart. So if you did want to sort of like pull them apart, you can do that. If you wanted to sort of change it up, you can do, which is always good. So we want him in a bit of a flying pose. We're going to just put the chunky bit in the base there. Now we know for a fact that his peg is on the back, so it does mean that to have that pose, we'd need this to rotate considerably. And to be honest, he's not going to be flying much if he's like that. So might not be that sort of flying pose. To be fair though, I do quite like the pose on the box where he is sort of like standing up, but he looks like he's hovering. Let me get the box. Let me see if I can recreate that. So his legs are sort of... Okay. If we put him on the base first. If we can get him on the base first. How have they done that? That's that's interesting. How do you put him on the base if his tail is in the way? Question number 2, does this peg actually go in? Oh, is it on an angle? Is that why? Ah, okay, so if it's on an angle like that, he looks a bit drunk. But then I've got... Okay, this is going to be interesting. How are we going to fix this? that tail can't move from there, but we want it to be up as much as possible. Is there a way that that can peg in? Hold on. Let's remove this. Let's remove this from the situation. Let's get this pegged in first. So that will go in like that. Ooh. Let's straighten this up. There we go. Sometimes these pegs will go in straight, other times they go in at an angle. In this case, it was the angle. Oh, now we could have it so that it's out like that and not on the base fully. Ah, now that works, but he's not floating, so we want the floating. So we want floating up, and then rotate, rotate, rotate. Ah, perfect. Okay, he's on the base. Okay, that's fine. We've got that. Now we need the pose. So let's bring him up a little bit. We've done that base part. Let's bring him here. So, how are we going to do this? He's got sort of like, I want to almost like, we want him to sort of look natural, as if he's floating. Are his legs like that? No, they're more back. So, back, down, point. Back, down, point. But I don't want the point to look weird. I want it to look natural. Do we go for a little bit of that, so it has a bit more of a pose? Yeah, potentially. Could do it so he's got a bit of an Iron Man landing if we wanted to, so he's sort of like that, ready to land. We can twist the tail if we want to. Can we bring this any further in? Like, oh, now he's come off the peg. Great. Can that come back at all like that? Can I bend this so it comes close to it? Oh, that works, okay. Alright, so we know the peg fits now, so we just need to peg that back in. Alright, okay, so we've got the natural sort of legs, tail sort of flicking this way. The arms, no, I'm not happy with the arms like that. No, I quite liked, I think we will need to unplug the pipe so we can get a bit of posability. Do I want him so that, oh, we could get him so he's looking up. That would be pretty cool. So he's looking up, but not that, not that up. A little bit upwards. Maybe we could do it so he looks as if he's about to like punch off into space. So he's doing this. Whilst this is closing his eyes. Maybe not, no, that looks a bit weird. I do quite like, actually, the box has got him posed sort of like, so that is there, and then this is sort of bent. And then he's got the sort of three not fully closed off. They're just like on the first click, feels like. Oh, does this one wanna... I feel like he's going to come off the base any second, but come on, rotate please. Like I said, some of them, they do take a bit of time to rotate. This one is being a lovely, lovely rotating point. Please rotate, please. Come on. I can see you want to, but you're not going to. Come on, rotate. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's all good, it's all good. Okay, that head just looks a bit weird. The box makes it look so much better. Like he's looking down, like I can't see his neck like that. Right, but then his arm is more down, this is more up. Like that. But then it's rotated and like that. Okay. And then the other one is sort of down here but opened. Like that. That's kind of the box. So we've got that flying sort of effect, but I quite like to have my Mewtwo with a little bit of sass on the side, but we need to just hide that pipe away. That'll do. Now he looks more bent backwards there, so do we want to bring him forward there? Or is it a case that maybe the base needs to come forward one? No, if it goes forward one there, it's going to come off. Or it's not going to look as if he's on the ground. Let's have a look. Let's bring that down. No, you look better like that. This is the good thing, is that obviously you're able to sort of see exactly what you can sort of do with this in terms of the posability. You don't have to have him flying. You could just have him in a normal stance. You can have him in a bit of sort of a pose where his hands are sort of together. Ooh. Okay, I see you, Mewtwo. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We'll have that. I like that. We will go with that. That looks pretty good. And there we go. Mewtwo all set up. Took a little bit of time only because of all that articulation, whereas the other figures, they don't have this much articulation, so the options are slightly limited, whereas Mewtwo is very humanoid shaped, so you've got those sort of human poses going on, which is really cool. You've got the posable tail as well, which looks amazing as well, because you can sort of rotate that any way you want to. He's flying in this pose, but like I said, you don't have to. And just for that comparison, we will bring in the Eevee. Does that scale very well? I think Mewtwo would probably be that size. I think Eevee should be worried. And then just for the fun of it, we will actually bring in all the other two as well. So we've kept their poses as they are. So we've got our Tyranitar right here. And we've also got our Suicune as well. There we go. And there is Series 5 all opened up. You have to say that does look really, really cool. They picked some great ones here. The colours pop really, really well. Bit of pink with the pink, bit of blue with the blue. It all sort of goes very, very nicely together. Works extremely well, and I think it's a great sort of extra to have in your background. If we've got any sets that feature any of these, obviously as EXs, then yep, no wonder we'll probably have that. Well, Tyranitar's, he's run out of time. Mewtwo, that's currently in the newest 151 set, so yeah, kind of lost its timing, but overall though, they look absolutely amazing together, and hopefully you guys have found it quite useful to sort of see them all opened up, seeing the possibility, seeing the sort of confusion that's given to me by that Mewtwo. But the possibilities with that Mewtwo, I think this one is the top one. If you can get Mewtwo, 100%. But obviously, if you guys prefer these two, go for it. Because I think Tyranitar is a great laugh. I think Suicune's got some great articulation for a not bipedal. Is it bipedal? No, it's a quadruped. Like that. Whereas Mewtwo is very sort of humanoid, but the options with the tail, the head as well, the articulation, the pipe coming out, great sort of things. They've thought ahead there, and that's great to see. And really, really works. But I think, like I said, third parties could have an absolute ball with some of these. Some ice or something, a ground effect or flamethrowers, and maybe some sort of psychic bits and pieces for Mewtwo would work an absolute treat with these. And I'll definitely be looking out to see if they'll do that with these and the other figures going forward. But there we go. I shall leave it here for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these three. Which one out of these would you probably go with? Let me know your thoughts on Mewtwo, whether you have picked it up. Let me know if it's been useful. And of course, if you've got any improvements for when Series 6 comes out, let me know in the comments below as well. It'd be very much appreciated. And subscribe for more of these figures and TCG content coming up very, very soon. But apart from that, I'll leave it here for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next video on the channel. I'll see you then.